SwimSwam.com, Mel Stewart, Garrett McCaffrey, Braden Keith coming at you with the finals preview for day number 2 here in Omaha, Nebraska at the U.S. Olympic Trials. Today in the prelims, it started out with that 100 backstroke. That'll be the first event tonight. Missy Franklin's first swim this morning did not disappoint us. She was the top qualifier going into tonight's finals. She'll have that center lane in the second semifinal, after her 59.54 in the prelims. Looked pretty good, huh, Braden?
Yeah, she looked relaxed, and I think the fun thing about tonight is she's going to be right next to Natalie Coughlin in that final. So we're going to learn a lot about where Missy has taken these infamous underwaters that she's had trouble with, and we're hearing they're better. And we're going to find out right next door to Natalie Coughlin, who's the best in the world underwater.
Yeah, a couple other names that made it into that semifinal second qualifier, and the only other lady under a minute in the prelims. She'll be in the center lane in the first semifinal. That's Rachel Bootsma, the 18-year-old from the Aquajets. It's kind of the story of youth there as the top 2 qualifiers in that 100 backstroke. But the only 2 under a minute here tonight.
Well, you know, in past Olympic trials, it was always you'd have breakout swimmers, breakout stars. But with so many pro athletes, so many postgraduates in there, we don't see that as much. So yeah, we're pulling for the 18-year-olds.
Guys, I know I've said this in both of our other recaps, but is anybody else nervous for Natalie Coughlin? Guys.
No, a little bit, but if you watched the 100 back this morning, it looked to me like she had the slowest turnover in the pool. And it makes me think, you know, she's doing just enough to
She does have a double tonight to think about, so she may be pacing. We'll find out in that 100 fly final tonight, I think, whether or not she's just playing with all of us or whether or not she's really is going to have a challenge making the team.
Second event coming at you tonight, another one not directly pitting Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte together. Actually, they will be right next to each other in the second semifinal of the 200 freestyle. Lochte, your top qualifier, with a 1:48.14. Looked like he was maxing and relaxing until that last turn in that last 50.
When you put that much speed down the last lap, you have to wonder, what has this guy got in the tank? Most exciting for me, Davis Tarwater in the mix.
You love Davis Tarwater.
I love Davis Tarwater. I'm just going to put it out there. It's not journalistic. Yes, I'm playing favorites.
Tarwater, the butterflyer, now showing some freestyle promise. He's also got a pretty good 100. Look for him later this week in that one. Anything else stand out to you in that 200 free?
Yeah, Matt McLean had a good bounce back swim, 4th overall in the prelims after missing the final in the 400 where he was the defending national champion. I think he'll be in a much better mood tonight, and hopefully he can keep his roll going.
Yeah. Michael Phelps sitting there third, like we said, 1:48.31, very controlled swim. Lochte had a double, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. We also have some news about that double as well. Next event up was Rebecca Soni's first swim of the week, and she started off with a meet record in the 100 breaststroke in prelims, 1:06.33. Anybody going to touch Rebecca tonight?
I don't think so, but to me, her swim this morning looked a little shaky. She was very shaky off the start. She looked a little bit low in the water. I don't think that she looked her best.
Yeah, and you know, that's another situation where swimmers side by side. Are she and Briha in the same? They're not going to be in the same semifinal this evening, but Briha, she's very tall, she's very strong off the block. So if they get to the final next to each other, we're going to see a big difference there where Briha is probably going to come up first right next to Hardy, and Soni's going to be playing catch-up, which is tougher to do in the 100 than in the 200.
And Briha kind of put any worries that she was more of a short course swimmer to rest with that 1:06, because she actually broke the meet record a heat or 2 before Rebecca Soni broke it. So she's looking very strong. Jessica Hardy qualified third with a 1:07.25. Looking very strong as well going into the semifinals tonight. Arguably, the swim of the morning came in the men's 100 backstroke, and Matt Grievers will be your top qualifier going into the semis tonight. 52.94. Did you expect anybody to go under 53 this morning in prelims of that 100 back?
Not this morning in prelims, and that's faster than either Toman or Plummer was at the World Championships last year. I think Grievers was he's ready to get his meet started after missing the World's team last year. He's just ready to go, and he didn't want to mess around in the morning.
Thoman will be the center lane in that first semifinal because Ryan Lochte decided to scratch the 100 backstroke, which is the complete opposite of what he did in 2008, where he had good swims in the 200 and the 200 freestyle and the 100 backstroke in 08, but then decided to scratch the 200 freestyle, ended up missing the team in that 100 backstroke. So he has gone the opposite route here this year, and he's scratching that 100 backstroke, which leaves it wide open for a whole bunch of people, including Nick Thoman and 16-year-old Ryan Murphy, who lowered another national age group record this morning.
We want to see the kids perform. We want to see breakout stars. We want to see some new blood. We love the Lochte, Franklin, Phelps show, Coughlin show, but we want to see new talent.
This is where the next generation comes from. This meet is the next generation's time to step up and show why they're the next generation.
Jack Conger, Ryan Murphy's arch rival, also qualified for the semifinals in 15th. Not a great looking swim, just a bit off his best time, 55.3, but he's got another shot tonight, not too shabby for a 17-year-old. We finished out the morning session. We'll finish out tonight's evening session with the 400 freestyle for the ladies. Allison Schmidt looked very much in control. It was almost a rematch from the Charlotte 400 freestyle with Schmidt and Katie Ledecky going head-to-head in that second circle-seated heat this morning. They will be in opposite heats as they're the top 2 qualifiers going into tonight.
And Ledecky seems like a rewind of Janet Evans. Kind of funny we have Janet Evans swimming her last 400 freestyle, sadly leaving the pool deck. But Ledecky looks awesome. If you call it, no, she's there. She's stroke for stroke. She's racing into the wall. I think Ledecky's on the team. I think Ledecky's a breakout star. I think Ledecky's 404.
404. She's got a lot of competition to beat in order to make sure she gets on that team. That final heat tonight will include Chloe Sutton, Elizabeth Beisel, Kate Ziegler. All 3 of those girls have been Olympians before. Then you got Jillian Ryan, Amber McDermott, and Becca Mann, a 14-year-old who is just putting together a terrific meet. Let's talk about those top 2 spots, though. Do you think, Braden, that the turnaround here, as prelims just ended a little bit ago, and they'll have what is it, probably just over 3 or 4 hours to recoup and then come back for tonight, as that was the last event, they were the last heats, and with the quick turnaround because of these extended prelims, do you think that fatigue and short turnaround will come into play at all for someone maybe like Elizabeth Beisel, who already had the 400 IM yesterday?
I think it's a bigger factor for the swimmers who are coming off of that 400 IM yesterday, and there's a couple of them. Becca Mann is the same way. But at the same time, there's a lot of young swimmers. They can bounce back. It's still early in the week. We're not talking 12 or 13 races into the meet. It's early in the meet. I think they'll be okay.
Well, we look forward to all the races here tonight. We want to thank you guys again for tuning in to SwimSwam. We also want to thank our presenting sponsor, Engine, for making all of this possible. That's our prelim recap / finals preview. We'll be right back with you guys after tonight's finals on day number 2.